Hello everyone, my name is Shiraz and that's the CB350 RS. And since I've already reviewed the Highness, in this review I will only talk about the things that are different between both motorcycles. I will skip the things that are common to both and only talk about the things that are different, so that you get a crystal clear idea of which one of these two is the right bike for you. So let's begin. I'll start off with something which I feel hasn't been covered by anyone yet, which is, so first of all, in both the motorcycles the lighting system is all LED. Okay, however, if you noticed, in the Highness the front indicators, they function as running lamps when you're not using the indicator function. That feature has been omitted on this motorcycle. That's one. Number two, it's common knowledge by now that the RS does not have the navigation feature and the charging port. Now along with that, Honda has taken away the switch gear that you find here on the Highness. What that means for you is, first of all, this is an eyesore, this blank section. More importantly, function wise, you would not be able to toggle through the instrument cluster information. For example, right now it's showing the odo. Now on the Highness you can toggle on the way via this switch gear, placed here, and you can see trip A, trip B, and most importantly the range. On this motorcycle you'll have to stop and toggle via this button. That's two. Number three, of course, you can see that on the Highness this is chrome, on this one this is blacked out, but then you have an additional chunky brace on this motorcycle which looks really nice. Four, this motorcycle gets these fork gaiters, also known as fork boots, which will of course prevent fork rods from chipping from stones, pebbles, and these would also keep the dust, grime, water away. What that means for you is your fork oil seals will last longer, so that's a good thing. Talking about the good thing, this one gets a bash plate, which is always a good thing to have. However, I am actually pissed by this single horn over here. Come on Honda, you're charging 10,000 more than the Deluxe, 3,000 more than the Deluxe Pro, and you're giving a single horn. At least you should have given DLX Pro's dual horn setup. A thoughtful feature is the addition of this here, which will keep the pillion rider's heel from touching the silencer. The silencer itself is not chrome anymore, and of course positioned a lot upwards, keeping in line with the sporty position, sporty theme of this motorcycle. The side panels are new, and of course you do not have the Highness name. That motorcycle should have been called just the CB350. So yeah, very classy, and I love this CB350 RS strip here. Very classy touch indeed. So the front wheel size and tire size and profile, everything is the same. The tire type is different. These are now block pattern tires, MRF curves with a K. Coming to the rear, the wheel size and the tire size and the tire type is different now. So the Highness gets a 130/70 section tire. This one is a 150/70 section, and that is why Honda has opted for a 17-inch wheel, because they tried to retain the same overall circumference. However, this still has a bigger circumference by around 2.5-2.6 millimeter. So yeah, this is a taller tire, this is a bigger tire, and due to which the ground clearance has gone up by 2 mm. However, Honda still says that the seat height is still the same at 800 mm, which does not sound right to me. I mean, common sense states that thanks to a bigger tire, if the ground clearance has gone up by 2 mm, the seat height would have gone up a shade too. Plus the seat is now a bit broader, so I would say that the seat height would be somewhere around 802 mm, and shorties like me would have an issue putting both their feet down at the same time. So for example, on the Highness I am able to tiptoe on both feet at the same time. My big toes, they touch on both sides at the same time. On this one, I am able to do it one at a time, and that too after sliding towards that side a bit. Then of course on the RS you have the toe shifter only. The fenders are plastic. On the Highness they are metal. This one gets these grab rails which make it easier as compared to the Highness to put this motorcycle on the main stand. So on the Highness you do not have anything to grab here. Okay, so unless and until you have an albatross rivaling wingspan, putting that bike on the main stand is a bit challenging. For example, the Meteor has a grab handle here, so despite being the heavier motorcycle, it is comparatively easier to put it on main stand. This is also easier as compared to the Highness, and I think that's about it. Let's ride and I'll tell you just a couple of more things which are different on this motorcycle. Alright, I forgot to tell you that the footrests have been now mounted a bit higher and a bit rear set, and the handlebar is also a bit higher and a bit further ahead. So you sit in a comparatively sportier position. Okay, the engine performance remains the same save for the top end. On this motorcycle I touched 149 yesterday. On the Highness I could manage 140. Everything else remains the same. I have done the 0 to 100 runs as well. I haven't checked those. I will be putting the links somewhere above. So that's the only difference as far as performance is concerned. Handling, that's also different. So the only difference is, and that's a minor difference, this motorcycle's steering feels a bit heavier as compared to the steering on the Highness. So the Highness feels light, and there is no compromise on stability on both the motorcycles. It's just that at slow speeds and while pulling and pushing or taking it out of a parking lot manually, you would feel that there is that the steering feels heavier. So again, you would only be able to notice that when you ride the Highness first and then this one. Otherwise, in isolation you might not feel it, and yes, everything else remains the same. So what's the verdict? The verdict is this motorcycle is the best in the segment. However, the Highness is better. So yes, the Highness is the best motorcycle in the segment. Then comes this one, and then the rest of them. You cannot go wrong with this motorcycle. However, I would really recommend that you test ride both and then come to a conclusion, because both are excellent motorcycles. I prefer the Highness more. Alright, I also forgot to tell you that this gets a new seat. I did tell you that. However, I did not tell you that the pillion seat area has been compromised on this one. So yes, not a very pillion friendly motorcycle, and I prefer the Highness more. But then again, if you like this more, this looks like a mini street twin from some angles, and some might even draw a parallel from the rear three quarters to the Ducati Scrambler. So yes, both motorcycles look great. If you like this one more, go buy it, and please do ask questions, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching.